Remember, please hit like and subscribe for me. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go.
Hi, everyone. Today's Tuesday, July the 15th, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. My name is Anne-Marie Band, and today we're going to do naked charts, right? I think I'm going to do naked charts maybe once a week so that we really focus on rotation, what's going on, big picture events. And so here we are. High of the overnight in the E-mini S&Ps that we are looking at right here is 6,341. Now, the undercurrent and flow, there are a lot of people that are very bearish the overall market. And so, they're trying to short it. And every time they short it, they get their heads lopped off. So there are some shorts in here. A lot of folks waiting on the sidelines, but we have overnight inventory that is very long, very light volume, and very long. After a day like yesterday, where the overnight inventory was short, and we turned around and moved all the way to value area high. Opening range low, 6,301. Opening range high, 6,309. Here's the overnight inventory beginning to correct. Here is yesterday's opening range candlestick formation. Well, can we just move it? Yes. And we are inside of the opening range from yesterday. What should buyers do here? All right, so remember, the focus of Naked Charts edition, is to simply look at where they're gathering inventory, where they try to release the inventory into liquidation or distribution, right? They call distribution the upside, liquidation the downside. I'm just going to say where they buy and get to sell for a profit up higher, or they have to sell for a discount and head lower. So this is very, very choppy. The entire range of prior days was sitting around in this box. It's now gone, so I'm going to remove it. Now we're just staring down those opening range formations of prior days, and my suspicion is that the value area high at 6,313 is going to be the actual buy zone today. What do we have on the horizon in terms of news? All right, today's Wednesday. We got CPI, 8:30. Ooh, that's in 3 minutes. Empire State Manufacturing, a bunch of bills, and then Fed speakers auditioning for their next positions in private equity. So here we are staring this down. What would I like to see? I would love to see the retrace into 6309, 6310. That gives us a buy zone. We know that the breakout is right around 6313. And so could be a little bit of noisiness. If you want to look for a short, it would be the look above and fail. And so what we would want to see is a test lower here, a bounce back up into 6,335, and that's where the short would be. Otherwise, friends, 6,350 is the average weekly range that we had set out into the space. And if we draw a little Fibonacci, we're going to see 6,371 as a potential target. So definitely a decision zone being here. Definitely, no doubt about it. If you want to get in because you think it's going to run hot, 6,320 would be the next space. But I think that's really messy. I'm going to wait. I'm going to be very patient today. Watch for stabilizing. Point of control, 6,303. VWAP, 6,293. And value area low, 6,275. Dips or buys, but we could have ourselves a pretty solid dip. All depends, right? All depends. And I do not like it when things are all depends, right? There's not enough of an edge there. Let's take a look at the NQ. Opening range held for 1, 2, 3 into the 4th hour, broke out, rocketed all the way up to 23,174, pulled all the way back down to our very familiar 23,040, and then it was off she wrote. So what are we looking for? We can see clear inventory accumulation around the base of 23,100, 23,130, something like that. If we break there, that's a buy stop, that's a sell stop, right? A sell all the way down into the edge. There comes the CPI pushing forward. Let's take a look at Fibonacci and the NQs. Dips are clearly buy zones. The 150% fib is 23,267. Whoa, this is something. I mean, this is really, really something. Where would I like to see buying zones? Well, in the session that we call here Naked Charts, it's all about where did they last buy and where did they last sell, right? So they're breaking out of a sell zone right here, right at the top of this motion. 23,179. I would wait for that candlestick to finish. Above there, though, we've got buyers inching forward, watching it chase out. This is stop runs. These are stop runs into the space. Pullbacks are buy zones, very clearly in a breakout formation. Momentum is very high, right? Opening range candlestick, low 23,000, high 23,036. Holy cow, very tight. Very tight range, big breakaway formation. Rotation is best for ease and low risk, and that's all the way down at this 23,050 area. Value area high, 23,011. VWAP, what's that look like? 22,961. Point of control, 22,946. See how close these guys are together? That's very, very interesting. This clearly distribution out of this very big range that price action has gone through. Upper edge, again, 23,267. Dips are buy zones, folks, but ooh, they're getting rocky. We just have to have some kind of retrace, and price action looks to run for easily another week if we're looking at things from a seasonality perspective. All right, taking a look at the YM, nowhere nearly the same sort of formations as the NQ, almost sitting still inside of its opening range, caught right between the VWAP and the point of control. High of the opening candlestick formation, 44,672. That happens to be right on the VWAP. Low of the opening move, 44,624. That happens to be right on the point of control. What are we looking at? To me, this is a jagged bull flag, right? Lower highs, lower lows, but continuing to compress in the range. Momentum, not that much higher, right? So deep dips near value area low at 44,490 look like the better bet, right? It looks like the better bet. Yeesh. Yeah. I'm not loving what these charts are doing today. They're trying to break the range, but when they do it under very low vol intraday, it always leaves things a little messy. Take a look at Bitcoin. This is an interesting formation, right? I've got some boxes here just looking at, let me change all of these boxes because they are really based on inventory accumulation versus distribution, and that's really not what we want to frame out. We want to frame out the opening range formations. Take a look. Opening range formation from the breakout. You know I'm looking for 115,000 as the buy, or 114,000 if they fill the gap. That's what I'm staring down. Take a look at this, though. If this is a head and shoulders pattern, the low edge of the shoulder, 116.8, high edge, 123. What is that? 7 grand from that edge. That puts us well below here. That puts us way down here at about 112. All right, so we'll see if that ends up being a move. Right now, we're bouncing off of the high of the opening range from 2 days prior. Yesterday's opening range, we flew right through it. Look, we tried to bounce the first time. Failed straight through the bottom. Here we are bouncing at this one. This one potentially holds because we are sitting in a space where buyers are trying to buy this dip, but it is just inventory accumulation right now, right? We have not broken out of resistance and we have not failed support. Momentum is very low though, so first pass bounces likely to give us a choppy zone. Opening range formation for Bitcoin incredibly tight. Look at that. So tight. Low 120,270, high 120,710. That could be the bounce area, though I think it's the top of the shoulder. And so I'll be looking to see how traders behave at 120,000 to see if there's a short action event sitting just below that zone, 119,480. That's what I'm staring down there. Momentum, again, very, very low. First pass bounces are going to give us sell zones. But if people are, about their business, they could easily push it through the point of control, which is 118,295. Value area low down here, 116,235. VWAP, 115,300 for the entire range that we're staring down. That's what that VWAP is. It's not a line that moves through everything from the daily. This is covering an entire range of motion. And value area high up at 122,705. You can see if we dip into the value area low, likely to bounce. And that's what we're trying to do. All right, let's take a look at oil. What? How did I miss this? Okay, yesterday's opening range candlestick, look at that. The break above, $68.95, and then the absolute collapse just prior to the open, and it went short all day long. Whoa, look at that. Inventory accumulation down here, broke the ledge and recovered it. So this is something we will notice. When a range is getting formulated like that has a great big move like this, pullbacks into the range can break and recover. So bigger picture formations always need to be watched. Now, could this be a further edge to the downside? Yes. We know the administration does not want expensive oil. This is very choppy right here. So I would anticipate $66.18. Right now, it's in a reflexive bounce. Momentum is high. Inside of the value area low, which is $67.02. Where are they moving? Last area of congestion, right around the noise at 67.48. That's kind of a big number, 67.48. Opening range formations, very tight here in oil. Low, $66.86. High, $66.97. We broke below, went into this range. Now we're breaking above. Trend is very steep. So two things can happen. Shorts can say, I'm not done with you yet. And they'll start shorting up here. First, near 67.20. So expect to see some sellers there at the first pass. If they don't come in, 67.48. And then the VWAP for the entire range, $67.71. Point of control, $68.30. Value area high, $68.72. But look at what this chart has done. I mean, can we say a game of Pong for those of us to remember what that is, right? We are going from low to high, pullbacks in this range that hold for a higher low. Let's say we come in and retest $66.68. That makes for a potential buy zone that could go all the way to the top. Look at the jagged flows, right? These are guys I feel sorry for the people like Delta and FedEx and all of those guys that have to buy fuel because speculators are really just destroying these motions. All right, let's go to gold. Whoa. Okay, this is a little bit more of what I'm expecting gold to look like. Let's first look at the opening range. opening range low, high. We're coming back to test it right now. 3,354. We spent many hours here. I would suspect buyers show up between 3,354 and the low of the opening range at 3,349. So buy zones look pretty good here. We are outside of value area high. So if they don't immediately catch fire with the buy, guess what? We're going to go inside of the value area. Value area high, 3,347. VWAP, 3,338. Point of control, 3,318. And value area low, 3,305. Notice inventory accumulation. Break down, retest, and then it continues. This is ideal structure. Beautiful structure, just broke down, gave us a reflexive buy, lost the level. That's where you would take the trade, and coming right into this very noisy patch. I mean, we probably spent 10 hours testing the areas around 33.54. All right, that's it, folks. I hope Naked Charts was useful to you. Remember, the goal is stare it down, look for where they're building inventory, and then look at how the breakaway of inventory accumulation leads to distribution or liquidation. Okay? Big fancy words, but you know, it means breakout. Hey, I've gotten all my oranges from the market. I'm going to go sell them as soon as price gets better. I've got all my oranges from the market. Holy cow, I better sell them before I'm going to lose my sharp. Okay? Simple as that. Simple as that. That's why a lot of downside pressure events are significantly steeper than upside pressure events. FYI. All right, everyone. Take care. I'll see you on the streams.